It is 6:48. This is your morning in 8 minutes. So multiple areas in East Tennessee are recovering from severe storms.
You may have heard sirens depending on where you live as severe weather made its way through the area last night. As your house is destroyed in Knoxville, no one is hurt. No deaths have been reported either.
Well, right now we've got team coverage on this from weather to traffic. Whitney is keeping an eye on any debris on the roads, but we do want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley following that WVLT First Alert Weather Day yesterday.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Recapping the amount of damage too that many of you might have seen. It was a couple dozen reports, and that's just what was reported to the National Weather Service between wind damage, hail, and then again we had the reports of the funnel cloud in Cumberland and Fentress counties, as well as the edge of Scott County. Much needed rain came from that system, but that averaged about an inch of rainfall. So we'll talk more about the changes you're going to see and feel behind this cold front coming up here in just a moment.
Heather, thanks. Well, if you're going to court in Knoxville today, you'll have to visit a new building.
KPD says starting at 8 o'clock this morning, a list of public services will have access at the new public safety complex in North Knoxville. KPD says that includes records, teleserve, hit and run, and city court. The new 200,000 square foot safety complex is on Huron Street. Parking is in the front lot. The former public safety complex on Howard Baker Jr. Avenue is now closed to the public. The new building will be shared by KPD, fire departments, and city court operations. And this morning, police are looking for a suspect in a deadly shooting and crash in West Knoxville.
Police say a man is dead and a woman has life-threatening injuries after being shot. Police also say a 4-year-old was in the car during the shooting. Investigators say it happened last night around 9 o'clock near Walker Springs Road and North Gallagher View Road. Police say they found a car crashed into an embankment. Someone shot at the car multiple times. The man driving the car died on scene. The woman in the passenger seat was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police say the suspects drove off in a red sports car. If you know anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. We have their number for you in the WVLT News app. And right now, KPD needs your help finding a suspect in a deadly shooting in East Knoxville. This car, officers say the shooting happened near the 5 Points neighborhood last Wednesday around 7:30 at night. Investigators say 25-year-old Emery Johnson died at the scene after being shot. Officials believe this blue Dodge Avenger may have been involved, and it could have been sold or abandoned in Knox County. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers. And the TWRA identified a person who drowned at Fort Loudon Lake on Saturday.
22-year-old Charles Abunaway of Knoxville died after swimming near a boat and never resurfacing. Witnesses helped Knox County Rescue Squad find the exact area where the 22-year-old went underwater. His death marks the 13th deadly boating-related incident in the state this year. The TWRA reminds everyone to wear a life jacket while swimming and boating.
Today, former President Donald Trump will travel to Florida ahead of his Tuesday arraignment at a Miami federal court.
This comes after he became the first president to face federal charges, the first former president. It all stems from the Department of Justice's investigation into his handling of sensitive and classified material after leaving office. Trump denies any wrongdoing while on his campaign trail for the 2024 race after the Department of Justice unsealed the 37-count indictment against him. The charges are connected to sensitive materials found at his Mar-a-Lago home. They include willful retention of national defense information and conspiracy to obstruct justice. And take a look at this. Drivers in Philadelphia need a lot of patience this morning after a section of I-95 collapsed from a fire. It happened yesterday. A tanker truck carrying a petroleum-based product caught fire under the highway, causing part of the bridge to collapse.
Yeah, if you take a look at this, it almost looks like something from a movie. People were able to see the smoke from miles away on that same road. Now, Pennsylvania officials say traffic in the area is expected to be affected for months. The good news here, there's no reports of anyone getting hurt. Well, power is restored in Oak Ridge after being out for more than 2 hours yesterday. City officials say a car caught fire and crashed into a pole on Montana Avenue. The driver is hurt but is expected to be okay after the crash closed the road and caused that power outage. And the Green Acres Flea Market in Blount County says it plans to reopen after that massive fire 2 weeks ago.
Officials say they're taking the appropriate steps to make the area safe and get the market up and running again. Multiple crews were called to the market on June 3rd. Thankfully, no one is hurt, but several buildings were destroyed. Officials are starting to clean up and they'll be putting up some temporary fencing. The flea market does not have a reopening date yet. According to the Blount County Building Code, several of the buildings were listed as unsafe and people were barred from entering. The Blount County Sheriff's Office is still investigating what started the fire. And a recall alert from Ashley Furniture this morning. Take a look at your screen. The company is recalling Party Time Power love seats, sofas, and recliners due to a fire hazard. The seat's cup holder has LED lights that can overheat and catch fire. There are 6 reports of those cup holders overheating. Thankfully, no one is hurt from this. The love seats, sofas, and recliners come in black or white and were sold between November of 2018 and March of this year. If you have one at home, unplug it. Give Ashley Furniture a call for a free repair. And WVLT is proud to be your official station of the Vols. Your Tennessee baseball Vols, one game away from making it to the Men's College World Series.
Tonight, the Vols play in a win-or-go-home matchup against the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. The Vols tied up the series last night after losing Game 1 of the Super Regionals in Hattiesburg, and Tennessee finished out the game with an 8-4 win the second game. Tennessee will take on Southern Miss in a third game tonight at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. The winner will secure their ticket to the College World Series in Omaha.
It is 6:54 on this Monday morning. Let's get to Whitney Turner with your first alert traffic.
Your morning commute is off to a really nice start. You do still want to use caution as you get out the door. You may be dealing with wet streets, possibly some debris, especially on those back roads. So be mindful of that. Those interstates, however, are looking good. This is a live look at I-40 right around 275, where you can see that volume is still pretty light ahead of that morning rush. No issues as you're moving around Knoxville. Again, those interstates and main roads do look good for this Monday morning. I want to give you a heads up if you're traveling through Sevier County this week. Starting at 7 a.m., mowing and maintenance is going to be taking place on both sides of the spur. This is going to last until 4 o'clock. This is daily through Thursday. You're going to see some lane closures and delays as crews are out there. So pack your patience if you're moving through Sevier County.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
6:55, and now with those layers of clouds and just a couple of showers now, obviously much quieter. Definitely some good news to get you out the door. You do have some spots of rain right now, southeastern Kentucky, far northeast Tennessee, and then more of a drizzly mist, some specks of rain still popping up as we transition over to more clearing later today. Some gaps in the clouds right now, valley, layers of clouds over the plateau and northeast Tennessee. Temperature still in the mid to upper 60s for most of East Tennessee as well, and that's part of that muggy air that helps to keep creating some showers. So you can see some specks right now, North Knox, kind of almost have to let your eyes focus a little bit there on Granger County, Claiborne County, Harlan County, very, very isolated at least. So you can see those layers of clouds over downtown Knoxville. Again, that's some low clouds mixed in as we go through the day, continuing to see some pop-ups as those winds shift and the cold front actually settles in. It's still a southwesterly wind now, more of a northwesterly breeze midday through afternoon, and that's when we can see more of a transition from mostly cloudy to mostly clear with only a stray pop-up shower. Storm, a little small hop back up in temperature, better off this afternoon at 76, and then low 70s still at 8 o'clock. Tonight's when you really feel the effects of that cold front. Check this out. We're going to have some areas of fog by the morning. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s, below average for everybody. Tomorrow looking at 50 Crossville, 52 Rutledge, 55 in Knoxville. So we're really tracking that cold front to settle in, the weather to settle down for now, and then some spotty pop-ups again midweek. So I've got you covered on that coming up on the CW.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the 70s because I know I've been wanting the 90s and stuff like that, but it's been a little hot of late. So
You're like Goldilocks.
a little cool off.
Never right.
We'll see you on the CW Knoxville. Have a good Monday.